YouTube viewers. I'm Gloria.
I'm Idalise.
And we are Edorable! So, today what we will be doing is... Dun dun dun! Scary stories! I don't know what to expect from this. But, where we got our inspiration, or what we wanted to try... We wanted to try this out because Edie saw it on a... another channel called...
Well, her channel's Lifebury. Her main channel's Strawberry17, but she did this video on her vlogging channel, Lifebury, and I'm talking about Megan Camarita. And so her and her brother did it, and so yeah, that's where we got our inspiration to do this.
So we each have 2 minutes to come up with a scary story, and there's a twist to it. At every 30 seconds, the person who's not telling the story will say like a random object or word, like umbrellas or cubes, I don't know, something, and then they'll have to incorporate it into their story. So that's what we will be doing, and Edie's here will be coming up with the story first while I tell her random words. Alright, have you thought of your story?
Sure. I don't know if you want to use the stopwatch for it instead.
Right.
I don't
Okay.
know. Okay.
You will begin now.
Well, there's this girl named Darcy, and it was winter break in New York, but she was going out to see her grandma all by herself for the very first time. So on the way there, well, she took a cab to drive out to her mom's house. And she soon realized that the houses weren't very close to each other. They're about could possibly be a mile or two more apart.
Glow-in-the-dark space chinchillas.
And so in front of the headlights of the cab driver's car, she suddenly spotted some glow-in-the-dark chinchillas. And she freaked out and screamed, but the cab driver continued on as if nothing had ever happened, and didn't even ask if she was fine. So they continued driving, and she started to feel like they'd been driving for hours, and it was already pitch black outside. All you could see was one foot.
Triple chins. Triple chins.
And then she looked in front at her cab driver, who had triple chin, a triple chin, and she said, "What's up with your triple chin?" But she just still didn't acknowledge her. So she decided to finally ask if they were close to Grandma's house already. And then he said, "We're not going to your grandma's house."
Pantyhose.
He said, "We're not going to your grandma's house," and then reached into the back and grabbed some pantyhose and then shoved it in her mouth. And then he ran off a cliff, and and then they all died.
Oh, that's depressing. You have 4 seconds left. No. 2.
Bye.
Okay. Well, that was Edie's interestingly peculiar story with my random words. Ugh, I'm cold. I feel really chilly.
That was so funny. It's like, I'm never going in a cab.
Yeah, that's the moral of the story. Don't go into a cab to your grandma's house. My part of my story. Alright.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, start.
So, when Lucy was 5, her parents used to put her in a closet whenever they didn't want her to see something that they thought would make her uninnocent anymore. Thus, Lucy began to wonder, what's going out? What's happening outside? What are my parents doing? Why am I stuck in this closet, dark closet? So, thus her fear of her fear of darkness and bridges began, because there was a big gap in between her closet and her parents' room to do. Wait, whoa. Okay. Oh, to I did not think this well. Anyways, her fear kept growing and growing, so she would wonder, why don't my parents want me to see the
King Kong.
the terrible world of King Kong because she had read once in a book that this horrible place called King Kong was what adults did when they put children in closets. So she thought that it was this horrible, horrible place, and she would never want to go there, but her curiosity just intrigued her, so she finally went out of the closet, and to her surprise, there was an In-N-Out restaurant. Not the horrible stories that they thought was in the King Kong land. So her fear was no more. But when she went into In-N-Out, there was the waiter or the cashier, whose half of his face was missing, and it was gory because his teeth were sticking out.
Okay.
And
you could just
I can't finish it.
Oh.
I don't know if that was scary, and it did not go at all where I wanted it to go.
Sam's face was like,
yeah. Alright, so take 2. And Edie's will be telling her scary story with my 3 words that I've come up with randomly.
Yep.
So, timer.
Yep.
And you will begin now.
Okay. So, Jack and his mom went to the zoo one fine evening. And so they went in and they looked at all the different animals, the birds, and then the lion, and they were walking around for a while, and until suddenly Jack was captivated by the aquarium section. And he didn't listen when his mom
Rabid
said,
chocolate covered squirrels.
when his mom said she was going to the bathroom, and instead was left there, but when he turned around, he was encountered some chocolate covered rabid squirrels. And they jumped at his face and bit him in the eye. But he freaked out and screamed, but nobody turned around to look at him. And suddenly he felt something taking him over.
Teen Titans.
And all of a sudden started fighting other kids like Teen Titans. And just ran around the entire zoo, and it was just like a really horrible scene, hurting everybody and killing people. And then all of a sudden he came out of it and had no idea what had just happened, but the police were coming after
Men's
him.
underwear clothing line.
saying, do you want a model for AIDS men's underwear clothing line? But then this other kid said, no, he was rabid and was killing and hurting other kids. Okay, possibility. And suddenly it came over him again, and he killed the kid and the people who were recruiting the models. And then his mother came in and he killed her too.
It. That is so horrible. Talk about scary. Oh my. Okay.
That was crazy.
That gave me
I had
chills.
no idea.
Crazy. That's quite an interesting story you got there.
I don't know.
We'll see if I can do your scary thing. Scary.
Pretty crazy.
If I'm scary. My story is scarier.
I had no
We'll
idea.
figure this out though.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Start.
So after Jack had killed his mother as well, he went along his usual business because he had rejected the men's clothing line offer by the police. So he went on his way towards the village this time. He still had that anger inside of him. So he couldn't find a way to let it out. So he started to let it out on animals, and he started to whichever squirrel or
Peacock.
dog or peacock that came in his way, he would bat them with a stick that he found on the ground. And he would bat them until all of its insides were gushing out and all over the street. Everyone became horrified by what Jack was doing, and they would just stare, and there was no one that would confront him and to stop this menacing act. So Jack continued his way, not only through cities, but then through countries. He went to Ireland and Zealand, and then he finally
Blueberries.
America, where he found blueberries that were somehow mutated to come to attack him as well, because they saw how he had been doing atrocities all over the nation. So they tried to stab him, but they couldn't because they were plump. So Jack just got his batting stick and bat the liquids out of them, the juices. So not even the blueberries could stop
Frozen
Jack
yogurt.
from eating his own frozen yogurt and his batting stick. So this guy, Jack, is awful. He had free frozen yogurt for his life, and he was able to be able to have animal cruelty he did animal cruelty throughout his whole life, and it didn't end there. Then it went on to humans, which no one was still willing to go up to him because he was just this monstrous man he grew up to be a man that was really scary and ugly. The story never ends. No one can stop Jack.
He's coming after us all.
He's coming after us! Oh my, run! Hide!
It's like
Up to here! Everywhere! Well, anyways, guys.
Jesse comes in.
So, that was our scary stories. Comment below which one you thought was scarier, if Edie's or I. Whose was scariest? Jack is coming to get you guys. Coming to get you.
It's coming.
Well then, we'll see you next time.